Welcome back, everybody, to the Unrivaled Projectile F1 23 My Team Career Mode. Going to Imola this episode, so we got some activities to take care of right off the bat. We're going to go with the sponsor advertisement for sure, get some acclaim, get some cash. Work on the second driver summit as well, and we'll get some different upgrades within our facilities for a little bit of cash. Not really to the point where we can do anything with our cash there. However, we do have some upgrades that we can do within the departments here. So, again, working on those major upgrades. We've got 2 more to work on within the powertrain side of things. Currently working on major developments in the aero as well as the chassis side of things. And let's see here, still good on those parts in the engine, working on improving our acclaim so we can get more sponsors, and we're going to go ahead and advance some time here, see where we end up.
Our new parts have completed without issue. Car ready for the next race weekend.
We didn't get any parts in there, so I'm not sure what he was talking about. But we've got a marketing department event to go to. We have to pick a rival. Either Valtteri Bottas or Joe Guanyu. I'm very sorry if I botched those names. We're going to go with Bottas as our rival.
Easy decision, but you handled it well. Thanks.
Maybe the wrong decision there. However, yeah, that's where the upgrade was coming from. We got a powertrain upgrade from the supplier, so we're all good there. I'm going to advance some more time, get a little bit more money in here, some more points. However, I'm not going to do anything with them at the moment. And we're going to wait just a little bit longer to do anything with that cash. And for the hot lap, I think we're going to choose the checkpoint challenge. I think it's going to be similar to the like triacclimatization practice programs. So we'll try that. Or we have to hit certain gates in a certain amount of time. From the looks of what was up there, we'll just have to kind of see. Yeah, it's like how much distance can we cover before we run out of time here. And as we hit certain points, like right there, oh, that's not going to be good for us. We're going to go ahead and restart that, just to try it out again. But essentially, we get so much time as we go through some of those gates. We get more time to keep driving, and you try to go as far as you can with the amount of time that we have. So, again, I'm not used to this track at all. It is not something I've ever raced on. So this will definitely be, I'd say, a little bit harder of a track for me. Going to have to not only learn the shifting here with the F1 cars, along with this car here as well, as everything on this car is always just so stiff. However, I have to learn braking points as well, so may not be an ideal race, but we have been racing better overall, so hopefully that should help us out there. I guess this event kind of gives us an intro into the track before we actually have to head to practice as well. Guess we'll have to just kind of have to see there. No added bonus there for completing a lap either. I know some events that are set up like this, you get an extra bonus as you cross the start finish line, but apparently not this one, as we did not get any extra time going across the line there. So we'll keep moving on. Currently 20 seconds on the clock, but we'll make it through another gate here. Need just under 20, about 1,500 meters now to get to the bronze. We get a warning there. So we go through another gate, and I'm not sure, again, with this particular event, if it's going to be when the time runs out or if we get to coast for a bit. And it's going to be right when we run out. We're almost to that next gate, and unfortunately we failed the event. Maybe we should have gone with the average speed one. But again, I wanted to try out that that event there, so got close but not nearly close enough to start get into the rewards there. So we'll move on to some practice, likely going to spend a decent amount of time in the practice sessions to feel confident here. But if it's some easier practice programs, then we won't really have to worry about it. So, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of rain here over the course of this weekend. As I'm not seeing, I forget where it's going to tell us here. Apparently not anywhere through here. So we'll just go ahead, head to practice one, where it looks like we have rain, lots of rain actually, and we'll do our best with race strategy. We're in full wets, so hopefully we can
I've had a chat with the R&D team about the new parts, and we're happy that they've been integrated
get
into the car
a decent
okay.
lap here.
With any luck, you'll be able to feel the improvement, so
But
go and give them a try.
actually, let's go with some track acclimatization. We don't have to keep as much speed up. The only thing that's going to kill us on is corners, so we'll go ahead and try it here. Going to have to be careful through that corner right there, not to cut inside too far and hit that curb. Easy on the throttle coming out of the corners, especially with the wet. Granted, I have the traction control help on, but still need to be careful in the full wet conditions. And so far we are doing pretty well, I feel. Still doing pretty well as I would assume we're into the last sector here. Actually, with how the track is set up, I feel like we may be okay here in terms of pace. Obviously that'll be figured out during race time, but we just went purple on our first lap around here. I'm going to actually run the 2 additional laps just to try to get a better feel for around here. Again, it's my first time here. So we're going to try to be a bit more aggressive here, especially since we have the corner gates. I don't really have to worry about missing anything since we've already gone purple here. And I can focus on kind of what the best way to drive this is going to be. I think our best way is going to be coast it into that corner and then downshift into second. We want to be down into first there, it looks like. Again, this could change. Switching from wets into dries. However, based on what I'm feeling in practice here in the wets, that's what we want to do. Not a terrible lap there either, with missing the corner. Probably, honestly, overall a better corner, minus that missed corner. Got some very similar corners there overall. It's basically the same set of corners twice in a row, so kind of interesting there.
Okay, radar suggests that this weather isn't going anywhere, so let us know when you've burned through those tyres and want to dry off a bit. We'll keep another set ready to go.
Alright, so we're going to have wets for the entirety of this practice session based on what the radar is telling us there. And right now we're even pacing pretty well compared to the AI who have run thus far. And we'll have to see how that holds up. As we may stand a chance against the AI with some weather here, and there is some projected rain in the race and in qualifying as well. So still dealing with a bit of a cold, so I apologize there. Going to go ahead and move to the race strategy here, and yeah, if we have to, we'll complete some of these practice programs with the quick practice, but overall we're going to try to run these during the actual practice programs.
A few solid laps here to help us calculate a good race strategy.
I made it through that first little section one-handed without dying, so I'm thankful for that. And I actually think granted, we're having to be tentative on the throttle at the moment. But I think it could still be pretty good for us here, based on how I think Sector 1 is definitely going to be good for us. Not that I'm exactly sure where the sector splits are, but I think this track may play to some of my strengths, as we're already up pretty big here so far on this lap. Granted, that could be the wet weather conditions. And maybe we haven't hit the complex part of the track. Again, going to have to be careful on that little curb there. But I'm currently, that was 1 second to the good there. So overall, doing, especially compared to Miami, where we really struggled to get this particular practice program done. It's looking really good here at Imola. And there's not even the long straights that Miami had, which I guess could be to our benefit, because you don't have to be quite as good getting out of the corners, therefore. So that way we're not getting beat down the backs or down the long straightaways. But I guess that we'll just have to kind of see here. But it could be quite the brush of fresh air, really, for the first time this season, as we raced well last race before making a few little mistakes. Same thing kind of at Baku. We were doing well until some little mistakes. So we're not lapping quite as well this lap. Went red later in the lap there, but this is a part of the track where we've really made up some time. And yeah, so right now all the signs are pointing towards a really good race here at Imola. So we'll have to see how this translates to qualifying as well as race pace. But I'm even going to be bold and say it may put us in terms of the points, especially if it goes wet, and that's where we're getting our extra pace. So, again, I'm going to do the extra 2 laps here that are left in the practice program, just to get some extra laps around the track. Trying to get an extra good feel for it. And still looking at good lap times compared to some of the other people who have been out on track. As you can see there, we're keeping up with Stroll in front of us. Not directly with him, but overall we're keeping fairly close to him. And Stroll's got quite a bit better of a car than we do at the moment, I do believe. So I think they've got a top 3, 4, or 5 in terms of their car. So we're definitely well below them in terms of pace. We'll have to look when we go to a different practice session, see where that Aston Martin is. Get into the gravel just a bit there, but I missed my braking point even getting into that corner a little bit. And we're still green in the Delta. And it looks like we're going to be green all the way through this practice session. So really good signs there. We may have to run this one again, and I may run this practice session again, just in general, in a dry practice session, see where the pace of the car really is. And there's also a development boost where yeah, the development boost is to get the DRS in all zones, which we can obviously not do right now in the all wet conditions.
Well done.
So we'll likely go back and run that again, get another couple laps there on the track. Now on to tire management. We're going to go ahead and start it. Should have just enough time in the practice session to get this one done. Then really there's not much for us to do. I may do some more practice off camera, but I'm not sure if it's going to be necessary. I'll do some more.
This test is all about try to control the slip through each corner and take extra care putting the power down at the apex.
I'll be sure to run some in practice 2, where I think we're supposed to be dry, just to kind of judge overall pace, apart from the wet setup. But at the moment, everything is pointing towards us being really good here at Imola. Not doing the best here on the tire wear. And some of those high-speed corners are not going to help out either. Not doing the best with our delta time either, so this may be one that we rely on the quick practice sessions for. Try to get the development boost done here in practice, and then complete the actual requirements for the practice session and quick practice, so we both complete it and we get that sponsorship bonus. We'll have to see here. As we are really hard apparently on the tires here in the first sector. It's where we're losing a lot of the tire wear. Trying to be easy on the throttle. And this could also be a wet weather thing as well. I'm not exactly sure. Just because we're slipping more in the wet. But one we'll definitely try in practice 2 as well, as we're already going to be running some in practice 2 anyways, and we can't split between quick practice and going to the track. So we'll definitely give this one a shot in the dries again. As the delta time was a lot better that lap, but the tire wear was actually worse. So also need to run this one again for the DRS development boost. Trying to run wider here. Try to take some of the wear off the tires. Getting them to gravel won't help there though. Going to keep it in second here. I have been shifting on the first for a better drive off, but I figured we might be getting a little bit of wheel spin with doing that. And we're still right down at the bottom there with the tire wear. So, looking at the delta time, there's not much that I can really do. So I overdrove that corner. We are going to get a warning on track limits. That's deserved there. That's going to be an important one, not to overdrive there. But we're going to bring it across the line. It's going to finish up the practice session, and we will see how we do on the dries compared to the wets. So I feel like we're going to do pretty well here at the moment. It looks like podium pass reset there. We also had some fast laps set by people on the intermediates there. We're going to move on to practice 2. Really think we should be on the dries here. That's what it looked like at the initial glance. Does look like we are going to get that. Still no weather forecast for the race weekend, so we'll have to look at that in a little bit once we get to, I think, qualifying. But we'll go practice 2. We'll go to the track, retry both of those practice sessions again, and go again. So I'm going to go with tire management first, see if we can do anything there, and then we'll run some race strategy as well afterwards. Definitely a lot more grippy around here in the dries. Alright, we were looking at green tire wear there for a second, as we still are. A bit of a dip there, but we were down on the delta time. So we'll have to see where we end up here. Down into second. Really good drive off there, as you see the delta tanking. We probably downshifted too far into that corner, but it's alright. Don't think it's going to happen on this lap, but our tire wear is looking much better here thus far. Yeah, definitely not going to happen in terms of delta time. However, the tire wear looked much better that time. So they run better lap time. And it's not going to happen this lap, I don't think. Got on the curbs really heavily there, but we'll have to see here. Yeah, as I'm trying to drive really aggressively here, and it's actually killing the tires a lot more, as is to be expected. And it's also and turn killing my lap times actually. So overall, actually a really fast track. A lot of the chicanes are actually quite high speed, even though they're really tight, if that makes sense. So it's definitely going to be an interesting race, but the fact that it could go back to wets could play to our advantage here, as I think we ran a lot better in the wets compared to the AI than we will with the dries. Really good lap time here so far. It's going to be close here. I was able to get through those first two chicanes really aggressively. Even through there, we were able to get through pretty well. Kept a lot of speed. Ran wide there, but no track limits. That may be something to utilize in the race, depending on the situation. Don't want to run wide there, however, to stay out of the sand trap. It's going to be close. See if we go green here.
Okay,
And we did not. We stayed in the red too long.
We didn't get what we needed. We'll have to run it again.
I'm going to jump over to the race strategy practice program. We're going to run one lap in there, and then just kind of see overall pace for that one, as well as look to see, or also to complete that development boost here. So, and then we'll jump back to the tire wear practice program as well, see where we're at there. So if we can complete that one, then I will jump back to the race strategy practice program to try to gain a little bit of extra practice on the dry setup, as it looks like we're going to have about 50-50 race dries to wet. So I'm not sure at this point what way it's going to lean. I think we're better off if it starts out dry and moves to rain. But we may be able to gain quite the advantage on wets to dries as well. So just kind of have to see here. Yeah, a little bit slow here on the race strategy. Rain is forecasted at the moment, so
rain in 10 minutes.
Going to go ahead and jump quickly back into the tire management practice program before it gets wet. As you can see, the clouds are starting to build. We're going to try to complete this practice session before the rain hits. Otherwise, we'll just focus on completing it in the quick practice. We should have plenty of time to do so, as should only need to do the green and purples on that practice program before we are completely out of goals. Now it's going to be good lap here. We'll have to wait for the next one. Went too aggressive into the first chicane, so that lap is kind of out the window there, but we'll try again. And with that, our tire wear had fallen off the cliff. Definitely cannot get into any sand traps here, as it's going to destroy tires. Actually, I'm going to be careful on the tires here as much as possible. Try to get them cooled down before this next lap, because I do think that kind of carries over into the next lap a little bit. And if our tires are hot, then we're obviously not going to run as good. Get into the grass there some. And that absolutely killed the tire wear, as well as the Delta. Made sure to keep it out of the gravel pit though, down into second. But the tire wear is all the way at the bottom, and we are 4/10 off currently. Rain is definitely close, and we'll at best have one more shot at this. Something to get around here quite quickly to ensure we have a second shot at, or one last shot at this in this practice program, or in this practice session, because as we saw, could not get done on wets. Guess we could go for intermediates, but I'm not sure if that's going to get done either. Though I could sure try, I suppose. Better for tire wear there. Begin to the gravel there, that's going to kill the tire wear as well as the delta time. I don't think it's going to happen here. Yeah, most definitely not. Too high on the delta. Too low on the tire wear at the moment. It's not going to happen here. Our only chance is to possibly have a good run on the intermediates if we can get to them this practice session. I'm not sure if we can, so go ahead and return to the garage here, and we'll have to see here. And there's not going to be enough time at the moment here, I don't think, as it's still saying whether it is, it got pushed out to 15 minutes left, so going to go ahead and just advance through the rest of this session. And we will have to, the practice programs, we should be able to easily complete those with the quick practices, and then we'll move to qualifying. So going to quick practice here. Again, only have the actual main objectives of the practice program to complete. We went ahead and got those done. Nothing else for us to do. So we go ahead and end the session. and get decent amount of R&D points there. And next up is Q1. And we'll have to see what the weather is like. Or they're not going to give us a weather forecast. That would just be lovely, right? I swear we've had a weather forecast in the past, and I cannot find it anywhere. So that's not good. We're just kind of getting the possibility of rain for both qualifying and practice. So we'll have to move on here and see where we end up. Looks dry for now. Yeah, it's going to stay dry for Q1 at the very least. Looks like. Yeah, it doesn't look like any chance for rain here early. So, yeah, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to make it out of Q1 with how the car ran in the dries compared to the wets. We were doing, I felt, really well in the wets, but the dries definitely less so compared to the wet. So may have to deal with a bit of traffic here on our first lap. Maybe should have held up some. So we get through that first chicane pretty decently. I'll have to look at the second one there. Not too bad there either. Went down the second there to get the drive off. See, softs feel pretty good here, which I've not been able to really say that about the other tracks. So maybe some of those upgrades are coming in handy there. We're able to use that little exit area there. I think we're going to be able to use it to our advantage quite often in this race, as long as we don't get warnings for it. So good possibility of us using that there. I'm going to go ahead and go for another lap if we can here without getting held up too much. And that's going to be that run. We got into the curbs there. It's just going to go ahead, see where we end up in this session. We'll go ahead and move on to the leaderboard here. Again, we'd like to out-qualify Bottas, so we'll keep an eye on him, as he is currently above us, so we may need to run another lap. We have a fastest sector 3 in the session so far, and I think that's where that little runoff is. So currently we're in the last transfer spot into Q3, and I think we got pushed out there at the very end. Maybe should run another lap. But our first one was pretty good there, so I don't think we could have done much better. Looking here, we are not in last in terms of qualifying though, so improvement there, and we will go ahead. Bottas did out-qualify us, however we will move on to the race. Hopefully we are competitive there. we'll have to see how the rain falls. Hopefully we can get an actual forecast here. Heading into the race, what we're looking at. Wet at the beginning, dry at the end. So the opposite of really what I wanted it to be. However, we will make it work. I think the wet is going to be ideal for us though. And already looking somewhat worn on some of these parts in the car again, so may need to look at some durability stuff to quit making those parts wear so quickly. Something that's probably also me downshifting some extra times to try to get better drive off, but we'll have to kind of see there. Go ahead to the race and see what we can do in the wet weather conditions into the dries.
Welcome to Imola, the spiritual home of Ferrari. But you don't need me to tell you that. Just look at the red-clad Tifosi in the grandstands. They're ready. Are you ready? For the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Unlike most Formula One tracks, Imola is driven anti-clockwise and offers our drivers today just over 3 miles of glistening wet tarmac to negotiate. It's made up of a roughly equal split of 9 right-hand turns and 10 left-hand. Watch the drivers on the way into turn 16. Managing their speed there will be crucial, with the rain only adding to the difficulty of that downhill braking section, which then, of course, leads into the track's longest straight, though no DRS there today, of course. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Perez, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Tsunoda, Joe, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Albon, and the owner driver rounds off the grid. Sargent, Enzo Fittipaldi. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. The last few races have been a bit rough for them, unable to get a clean run. That's got to have some effect on their confidence, surely.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Alrighty, so I'm going to hope for, honestly, the wets here early, moving to an intermediate tire, so maybe a 2 stop here, but no, we're going to be on the intermediates. So just going to run those as long as we can. I think we're going to end up moving to a dry tire towards the end of the race. However, yeah, it'll be what it'll be. We're going to go ahead, head to the race. Bottas is quite a bit up in front of us, and not really a good spot to overtake here early, so we'll have to figure out a way to do that here. Hopefully get a good start and see where we end up. Not a great stop or start there. But not terrible there. Bottas is right here alongside us, so we're going to go ahead and get past him as quickly as possible. And you can kind of see there, just as I guess, car is looking very good in the wets. Compared to the AI that we are alongside. but as you saw there, the ICE is not looking all too great there once again, so something we'll need to replace afterwards. A little wide there on some very rough curbs. However, we are up into 13th. Nearly missed the braking zone there, but we were able to use the runoff there to salvage the corner and not get ourselves into too much trouble there. So we're going to try to stick with Ocon here to the best of our ability while we can. Again, no DRS, so it's not like this group in front of us is going to be able to majorly pull away from us. However, if they do have a much better section such as that compared to us, they are going to be able to pull away quite quickly and we'll lose contact, as we've got a yellow sector up in front of us. As there was an incident there, we did not get slowed down there quite enough. I'm not sure who wrecked. It was either Piastri or Norris. I want to say it was Piastri. Again, don't know there, but puts us up a position. And we are right back up with Ocon after an aggressive set of corners there. So they're battling up in front of us. We get into the back of Ocon just a little bit there as Sonoda and I'm not sure who else is in front of him battle here. But we are right back with Ocon. Even take a dive at him, but we overdrive the corner and Zoe gets back past us. So we've got Bottas behind us now. Need to get back on form here after some silly mistakes. A little bit of contact there with Bottas. So we get into the corner too deep once again and I've lost touch with the pack in front of us, as those chicanes are quite difficult for us at the moment. Stroll takes a look down along Bottas here and looks like he completes that overtake, and we will now be finding the Aston Martin of Stroll for position.
Okay, I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres.
We run wide in that corner once again, and Stroll gets a massive run on us because of it. But as you heard the engineer there, track is going to be drying out soon. So we will need to be paying attention to that. A little bit of contact with Stroll there. Not sure if that was his fault or ours, but we did not get a warning, so I'm going to assume it was his fault. But we were starting to hold up some much faster cars behind us here as we are into our fourth lap now. Again, just cannot seem to get into that first corner well. I don't feel like we're braking too late, but the car is not wanting to handle there well. So another caution up in front of us, and we have a VSC here with us early as Russell has turned into a ghost car there, going to a positive delta. And unfortunate that we don't get a full safety car that would have allowed us to catch up with the cars in front a little bit more. however, not going to happen here. Have to be really careful into these
Okay, slow down. Slow down. Your delta's negative, which means
braking
you're going too
zones,
fast. Reduce your pace.
because we do gain quite a bit of time under them during the safety cars. But it's so hard to maintain with the AI during these virtual safety cars, because they're able to
Okay,
just
right,
set
those puddles are clearing.
a
Definitely on the right time for the time being, but we're probably not a million miles away
pace,
from slick conditions.
during the VSC,
Okay,
so they don't have to
VSC
deal with
ending.
the
We're going green. Maintain positive
need to make
delta
sure
until the green
to
flags.
not the best start for us there, but we were able to keep it positive this time, unlike the last time we had a VSC. We've not had an actual safety car so far in this career mode. I think we can improve the probability of that happening if that's something you'd like to see. We've had, I think, 2 virtual safety cars, as well as, well, and then no actual safety cars. So if improved safety cars is something you guys would like to see, I do believe we can improve the probability of that happening. The rain has let up visibly here, and I'm guessing we're going to be going to the dries within the next lap or two. The track is still damp, but I expect it to dry out within a lap or two, so the majority of this race is going to be run in the dries. We do not need to get to the race, end of the race on these tires, because we're going to be going to the dries. I'm going to guess the mediums to finish out the race. I think it's going to be too long of a stint to run on the softs, so
5 seconds.
send some better sectors, which is pointing to the fact that the track is drying out.
Don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options. If you go and check your MFT.
We've got damage, apparently. I don't see any damage. If there is, there's just some light damage there. Confirm change.
Okay, copy that.
We're going to go ahead and take that pit option because it does put us on the medium tire, which I do think is going to be the way to go here. As DRS is enabled, so we're going to want to dive into the pits. Bottas is also pitting with us here, so definitely made the right call. A lot of the leaders did not pit, I do not think, or in fear of double stacking. So we are just going to be going here. We get back out in front of Bottas, which is really key there. Everyone out on the mediums, and we will have the rest of the race to run on the mediums. And we may jump some positions here with some of the leaders not taking the mediums, so lost some spots initially, as it is still wet out here. Big snap of oversteer there. However, it does put us in good position to get a very nice finishing position here. Making sure to stay on the racing line with the track not being all the way dried out here. Our teammate is just now entering the pits. We should be coming up on the pits here very quickly. But going to be close whether to see if the extra lap on the enters was worth it or not. Bottas with a huge head of steam there, makes a bit of contact with us. We'll have to see. We get a good run out of that corner. We have his slipstream. Did not. He out-braked us into that corner there, and we cannot make up quite enough time. Big snap of oversteer there again in the hairpin, and Bottas looks like he's going to drive away from us, unfortunately.
Okay, we're looking at some gearbox repairs to keep the number of shifts to a minimum, please.
We're getting some gearbox wear again here as well. So we'll go with the recommended gear here once again. Don't want to have those gearbox troubles. And we are currently sent in P14 though, and we've been driving fairly clean so far, so as long as we can keep that up, I definitely say we're on pace to have our best finish of the season. We've got multiple cars with DRS behind us though. So we take a massive dive there, however, gain those spots back, and it puts us right near the rear of Ocon. Apparently they ran extra long on those enters and just came in for their stops. So they should be on some colder mediums. They are fresher, so they're going to last longer, but they should be cold here. Try to catch up with them here. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that. Aggressive through that set of corners there. So I'm not sure if we gained on the drivers in front. Definitely gained a little bit on the drivers behind there. So we are gaining a little bit. Had quite a few good sets of corners there. Not the best corner there, however. And we may end up with a bit of a DRS train behind us, as we've got a long straight here.
Okay, so we're leaving our teammate.
Already going to go to the defensive, get back into the slipstream, and try to go for a dive here, as Hulkenberg is going to go defensive here. We get into the curb a little bit on the apex there. Don't get into the gravel pit, as we've got Ricardo here behind us, but Hulkenberg has gone on by, back into 14th once again, and I think we've had even more drivers pit, as we consistently gained some spots over the past couple laps. So overdrove that corner a little bit, but Ricardo got into us just a tad and checks him up. So we have a little over 6 laps remaining in the race. The track is continuing to dry out as we continue to set quicker and quicker laps here in the race. Ricardo is still going to have DRS on us, but we may have a chance going down into turn 1. We're going to have the inside here, force him out, force him to battle with Magnussen. We're going to be okay here through the second chicane as well. No pressure there. And this is really the first little bit where we've not had to battle, so looking like a really good lap time here. Can kind of run our own line here. Not really have to worry about anybody. Trying to chip away at the lead that Hulkenberg has over us at the moment. I'm going to need to quit going into that runoff area there. FIA finally gave us a warning on that little trick, as we took a decent chunk out of Hulkenberg there. He did get a good run out of that final corner though.
Okay, gaps in the car ahead.
So, starting to pull away once again. However, we were catching up to him quite decently there. We had taken about 4/10 out of his lead over us, so granted it has gone back up once again. However, we're not doing terribly staying consistent with him, and we are keeping a consistent gap over the cars behind. We got out of that DRS range, and we are able to, that has helped us out a lot, not having to battle those drivers. A little bit loosey-goosey out there in that little chicane, with not being able to really use the runoff area there. Better run out of that final corner there to try and catch up to Hulkenberg. Took a little bit out of his lead over us as we dive into turn one. Not bad there at all. See what we can do in this hairpin, where we've been making up a decent amount of time. He actually gains on us there. Downshifted into second too early there, and also not our best sector one there, so may have been going too hard on the tires, so maybe starting to wear out. Magnussen is now within striking distance of us at the moment for DRS, and these last few little corners are not our best as we get into the gravel pit. Not ideal there. Definitely going to have DRS and going to take advantage of it. Going to be quite close down here into turn one. I went late, took the awkward corner angle, but made it work to maintain the position. Really defensive driving there. However, no contact, I don't believe, so everything's legal there. No warnings, so we are a-okay there. About 2.5 laps left, and currently standing on P14. And we'll see if nobody has to go at us through this little section here. Get a better drive off, and we're with having to battle Magnussen. We're losing quite a bit of time to Hulkenberg there, but it is alright. However, we've got a little bit of a train going here. Magnussen is going to breeze past us here, as well as Albon, who is going to make quite a bit of contact with us here and brake check us getting into the corner. No damage from the looks of it, however, at least none reported, so we are okay at the moment. We get into the gravel pit though, and that allows Norris to get past us with 2 laps to go. Now to battle with George Russell, who's going to have much more pace than we are, and that's going to be a tough one to hold off. As we have Stroll behind us as well. If Russell gets past, which I don't doubt he will, especially once he gets DRS on us, going to be quite the battle to try to hold off.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Only 1 lap of fuel remaining, which means we're going to have to save a little bit here in the last lap, which is not what we need. Try to stay in the slipstream of Russell here, but we're going to be able to stay to the inside of Stroll to get through the first set of corners. Russell is long gone. However, I think we may be able to stay ahead of Stroll here and still manage a much better result than we would have had in any other race. Carlos Sainz wins. Likely was one of the drivers to go to that medium early, as we got a little pop-up here for the tire wear. Quite a long stint on the mediums towards the end of the race. As Sainz is going to have a go with us, he's likely has that engine all the way turned up, knows it's his last chance there. So we're going to stack him up a little bit. He's not going to have any room to have a go at us, and we're going to bring it home with our season best of 18th. Granted, we dropped quite a few spots there at the end. However, we did make up quite a few, made up 2 spots from the start, but did well. We finally didn't have any wing damage, which is a first for us, and Verstappen still ends up on the podium there, and we'll see where we have drivers here. Sainz, Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Perez, Piastri, Alonso, Gasly, Tsunoda, Guanyu, Ocon, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Albon is what we can see there.
No change at the top spot then, but with today's points, their hold on that lead is getting weaker.
Let's see, we'll take a look here.
Weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. It's been an absolutely wild
we
weekend
beat
of
out
Formula 1
both
action. I can't wait to see what's
and
next.
an Aston Martin, surprisingly. We were fighting with a McLaren and a Mercedes there at the end. Not too aggressively, but somewhat. Lando and Russell both had problems throughout the race. Both had little incidents. But up 2 spots off our initial grid spot and again a season best finish. So we'll take that and move back to the main menu. Alrighty, so Bottas beat us out there a few different times throughout the race, but still a decent amount of acclaimed, gained some little extra cash there. And moving back to headquarters, as we'll have more components to change next episode. Likely a purchase to be made on a facility upgrade. Quick turnaround into Monaco for next episode, and nearly 1,900 resource points to our name right now. So yeah, overall, I think I'm getting better at F1 racing. We're not making so much contact, and we have to make an extra pit stop that race, which was huge. Granted, I think the rain helped us there, but overall, much better from us there. Less mistakes, and the results showed that. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. We'll be back to F1 in a few days. Have another NASCAR episode to record. That will be up next. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one.